Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and of course installing the MP Concepts Sport Rocker Panel in the unpainted finish, available for the 15 and newer GT, EcoBoost, and V6 Mustang. You should be checking this out if you're looking to add a very unique side profile look to your Mustang, adding an angular and more aggressive muscle car styling with the Sport Rocker Panel from MP Concepts. First thing I want to talk about right out of the gate is, out of the box, this guy is unpainted. So as you can see, we have it bolted up in the unpainted finish. Now I know it might look black, but it is just a bare ABS plastic material. Now the ABS plastic is what you'd expect from a lot of aftermarket body panel parts, spoilers, chin splitters, valances, all types of stuff like that. Same thing here, all OEM quality. If you want to get it paint matched, you definitely have the ability to do so to your custom paint color or an OEM color like our Race Red Mustang here. It's all up to you, but it bolts up right out of the box as is. This does have a completely different styling, as you can see, compared to the factory one, which we'll take a closer look at later on side by side. But of course, the back end here is where the big change happens. All across the side profile, it does come out just a little bit farther. And to top off this completely different design here, it does have an open cutout that has the potential to go all the way through for airflow. Now, I will say, if you want to take full advantage of that, I'd recommend trimming back the wheel well liner here. You wouldn't even have to trim much, just maybe 2 inches at the absolute most to get that to go all the way through for the airflow. But of course, that is optional, not something we're doing here today, since it will just be going back to stock. Now, as far as mounting, it's just going to use all of the OEM mounting locations. There's about 11 clips underneath here going into the rocker panel. There's 3 pushpin clips at the front and then 7 all underneath of the panel itself. All of which are super simple. You don't even have to break out a ratchet or anything like that. There's no cutting, no drilling. It is a direct bolt-on install. Now, this guy's gonna come in right around $300. You do get the pair, so you get the passenger and driver's side. And again, tack in the extra paint cost if you're going that route to get it paint matched or painted to a color of your choice. Now, when it comes to the install, guys, I'm gonna give it 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter because no drilling, no modifications, no permanent modifications at least. This is something you can definitely bolt up in the driveway at home, but just a couple of disclaimers before we jump into things here. Like I said earlier, you do have the option of trimming back the wheel well liner to expose some of that airflow. Not something we're gonna be doing in this video, but you do have the option to do that. It would be very simple. You can even do it with something as simple as a box cutter if you have a little bit of an accurate hand. Now, aside from that, MP Concepts also lets us know that you have the option to paint the factory paint color that you can see straight through the cutout here on your rocker panel. Now, some guys might like the look of that, some may not. As you can see, we have a race red vehicle with our unpainted finish rocker panel, so the race red is pretty obvious through that cutout. Before you install this, you do have the option of painting the inside of that rocker panel there black, just to blend in a little bit more with the unpainted finish here, but it's also up to you. It depends on if you're painting the rocker panel itself. Keep that in mind when you're moving forward. But either way, if you were to paint that little portion of it, even if you return to stock, it would still be covered by the factory rocker panel, so it's not something you'd see on the vehicle anyway. With that said, you can tackle this in about 30 minutes, maybe an hour from start to finish to tackle both sides here. Simple hand tools like a panel removal tool will do the trick. You don't even have to break out a ratchet and a socket set. I'm gonna show you every step of the process. What do you say we get started? All right, tools used in this install include a panel removal tool, a pair of needle nose pliers are optional, and a plastic panel removal tool if needed. All right, first step here, we have to get our factory rocker panel out of the way, and I'm starting at the front here on our passenger side. So I have the wheel turned a little bit to make it easier to access these 3 push pin clips. So we're gonna get these 3 out of the way and then move on to the rear. I'm gonna use a panel removal tool for this as well, which is just gonna help pry up on the front, and then of course the back portion of it. Just like that. Do the same thing for the other 2. All right, moving on to the rear, we're basically doing the same thing. It's a little bit tighter here because obviously you can't turn the rear wheel, and there is only one of them that we have to worry about. So you're gonna put your panel tool back in there, pry up on that guy, and get her off. Next up, we have the vehicle jacked up just a little bit, which isn't necessarily required, but it does make life a little easier. Underneath, there are 7 of those pushpin clips here. Now, they're a little bit different in the sense that they only are 1 solid piece instead of 2 pieces that you have to pull up individually. So it makes life a little easier that way. So you're gonna go under here, and inside of each of these little indents, there's 1 clip. So let's get those off with our panel tool. It's really just this one Christmas tree type clip. I'm gonna put that down and do all 7. All right, so at this point, we're just basically gonna be firmly pulling the rocker panel away from the vehicle. There are some clips on the inside that are holding it on, but if you pull straight back, they'll detach. So I'm gonna start at the front, just hook my fingers around this pre-painted section, and it's gonna snap off. You're basically doing the same thing all across. For this back section, I'm going to use a plastic panel removal tool. You just want to make sure it's not metal so you're not scratching your paint here. Put this guy in there and pry back up. All right, there we go. Now we can set this guy aside. All right, so we got our factory rocker panel off of the passenger side of our 18 GT here, and it's on the ground next to our MP Concepts Sport option. Now, I want to take you through some similarities and differences between the two, and I gotta say the first thing I want to talk about is the materials. Now, this is made from OEM quality ABS plastic. Now, ABS plastic is something you see in a lot of aftermarket options that are built to withstand the test of time, like your factory components. This guy is completely unpainted, as you can see right out of the box, so you have the option to get it paint matched to, in this case, it would be race red or some of the other paint codes out there, or just a custom color of your choice. Now, we're going to be installing it right out of the box as is, unpainted, which you definitely have the option of doing. Now, this obviously has a totally different design than your factory one. As far as the running length of it, it looks pretty similar, but it does come out a little bit farther. It's a little bit wider of a body stance, but it also has a completely different end here toward the rear. Toward the rear, you're getting that open cutout V-shaped or triangle-shaped design here and a little bit more of an angular finish. Your factory rocker panel is pretty smooth, just like the side profile of the Mustang. It has a couple of these body lines to match, which is also replicated here a little bit in your new option, but ultimately it's not super aggressive and it doesn't really stand out. It just kind of looks like another part of the Mustang body. This, however, will look like it is a little bit more aggressive. It adds a muscular styling or a sport styling to the side profile of it. Or if you leave it unpainted right out of the box, it even pops a little bit more off the vehicle. Now, you'll see a lot of other pictures out there, especially on the product page, of customers who have it paint matched, along with some of the guys who kept it unpainted. I will say, guys, as a quick disclaimer, if you're leaving it unpainted out of the box, this is not painted black. It's just bare ABS material, which means you are susceptible to seeing some of the molding blemishes that you get from the production line. And you can even see some of the scratches and blemishes within the finish there because it isn't primed and it isn't painted. If you're looking to have a black finish like it is out of the box, I'd actually recommend getting it primed and painted in actual black paint instead of keeping it the bare material, but it does still look very good on the vehicle with it right out of the box. With all that said, we're not transferring over any of the clips from the back of the panel there. We have new ones included in the kit from MP Concepts. All we have to transfer over are the factory pushpin clips that we took out of the front wheel well. The back will no longer be using that one clip. What do you say we get started? All right, kicking off the install here, we have to assemble these white plastic clips onto the back side of our new rocker panel. Now, they're really a one-time use clip, so the reason they give you so many is if you ever want to go back to stock, you have the option to. You'll have a couple of these left over. Pulling off the factory panel, they most likely break off, so having the new ones here definitely goes a long way. So you're basically going to find these little U-shaped clips here, and you're going to pop these suckers on. They'll snap right in place. You want to make sure when you're doing this that the knob is facing up toward you. There's about 11 of them, so let's do this all along the inside of the panel. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers to sort of pinch it into position there. You just want to be careful not to break anything. All right, so that kind of pushes right in. All right, so I'm going to slide this guy on starting from the back, line up those clips, and push them into place. There we go. All right, now you can just start snapping them in. If you open up your door, you get a better view of the edge that meets the body of the vehicle. So at this point, you can start pushing them in a little bit better. Sort of give it one push right in the middle and it snapped all the way through. Now we can come back here and hit this last one. Just like that. Just make sure everything's lined up and we can shut our door. Now we're underneath the vehicle. We're gonna put the Christmas tree clips back in, these little black plastic pieces. All right, last step here, we're just gonna take the 3 pushpin clips and go right into the front wheel well. Remember, the rear wheel well is no longer gonna use that, so this is the last step here, really. All right, once you have those 3 in, repeat on the other side. That's gonna wrap up my review and install for the MP Concepts Sport Rocker Panels in the unpainted finish, available for the 15 and newer GT V6 and EcoBoost Mustangs. Get yours right here at AmericanMuscle.com.